Hey, YouTube, come on in the room. Say, put your thumbs up, and then I'll start in a few more minutes. I need an introduction song to come in because it's kind of awkward to hit live and then really wait until other people come into the room before I could really start. Because one thing about going live is that people gonna say, "Well, what was discussed previously?" Hey, go ahead and say hello. As you enter the room, please hit the thumbs up, and then I will go ahead and start in the next few minutes. Who keeps coming in and out? Somebody keeps saying two and then one and two and one. Well, let me go ahead and start because I don't want to be long. So anyway, how y'all doing? How was your week end? I was pretty busy in the sense that I had did a lot of assignments with survey this week, going to Publix, not Publix, Kroger's, and basically walking around Kroger's checking for Procter and Gamble products, which is basically like the Gain Tide and Swiffer, those type of things around each of the stores. And that one paid was like 22 dollars an hour, but it don't take more. It doesn't take past an hour to do it. It's really more like an hour, maybe a couple minutes, but because I didn't really have anything to put up in the store, meaning I didn't have to go into the back stock and stock paper towels or whatever. So because of that, um, the time is not as long to do them. It's really, so most of the time it's really under an hour. Hey, y'all come on, give me thumbs up as you enter the room. Go ahead and say hello so I know who's in here. Because it's best for me to know who's in here so I can know who I'm addressing. And it also helps out the algorithm too. Now, today I didn't do anything. I didn't leave the house. I didn't do anything. I pretty much rested. I cooked. I didn't finish cooking. I've been finished cooking for quite some time. So I just had me some chicken and rice. I didn't open up no can of vegetables, so you know, just the roasted chicken legs and some rice. And it was good too. So anyway, so let me go ahead and let me start. So as you can see, there was some today I had went on this company called VHO. Let me write the name in here. VHO. Hold on a second. Let me make sure I got the writing correctly. VHO. All right, I'm back. So let me tell you. So VHO.com, I'll put the website in the link. And so let me tell you how I came across VHO.com. VHO.com, I came across it on Facebook. And on Facebook, I had clicked on it, just to see what it was about. And this company basically is like a delivery service. They do deliveries. So they started back in March of this year, not that long ago. And they are in certain cities. They are in Atlanta. Let me get my phone because I could go ahead and get some information that's from my phone. So hold on a second. Y'all go ahead and give me a thumbs up when I come back. So I went 4 for 4. Ugh. What? All right, it's 4 of y'all in here now. Go ahead, hit the thumbs up so help out the algorithm. So anyway, VHO.com. I came across this a couple of days ago on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, on Facebook. And basically, you sign up and it's basically like doing deliveries. And this company was started. Let me pull up some information. VHO Delivery. Now, this is another company that came into the delivery segment. And so let me tell you what VHO, VEHO. They basically was, as I usually say, it says attended by Harvard Business School. These 2 students went to Harvard, and let me see. They got other positions other than being a driver, but I did sign up. So they only started about a few months ago, back in March, May, one of those months. I knew it was this year. So they're in Atlanta, and where they at? Let me see here. Well, let me go get some further information. So basically, what makes this company so different compared to other companies that do deliveries is that you can actually view the routes the day before. So what it is that they come up with the new routes the night before, and you choose the route by going to the warehouse and you picking up the packages, it tells you how much it pays. It tells you the location you're going and everything. Now they didn't tell me where in Atlanta the warehouse is located. They just gave me the zip code because they won't tell you that until you actually sign on. So when I looked up they gave me the zip code 3003, whatever the zip code is. It's in somewhere like West Buckhead, and I want to assume it's like um it said two things. One, it said Alpharetta was the where the warehouse was located, and I said that don't seem right. Why they would be in Alpharetta? But they said they was in Fulton County somewhere, and I want to say it's more like West Buckhead, where um, further on that side of the town, where it's like Fulton County, Atlanta, but I think it's near those warehouses on that side of on that side of the town. But we shall see. We shall see. So when you go on the website, it says Viho Delivery, and it's an end-to-end e-commerce delivery service. And and what you do is you go to the nearest warehouse, you pick up the packages, and when you have availability in terms of package available, you basically choose the package delivery the night before. So there is no waiting around and seeing if it's available, and then you choose it. You choose routes that's already been ordered, and the night before. So you go online, you say, okay, I'm going to do this delivery, and you know exactly the time, the dates, and the details, and the pay. Unlike Amazon, where you just go online, click on it, and see if they have availability, and then you go to the Amazon warehouse, you pick up packages, and then you don't even know where you're going, but they'll tell you the pay is um, X amount of dollars. So with this one, it says um, average pay starts around 19 to $25 an hour. So you get paid based on the time that you're doing the deliveries and the mileage, and you know exactly how much you know exactly how much you're paid, and you also know where you're going by the previous night before, so you can easily plan where you are where you're doing. Now with Viho, you do get paid every Wednesday, they said, but it's like twice a week. So depending on when you do your deliveries and what date it falls on during the week, you get paid twice a week, it says. And you get paid direct deposit. Now, this is fairly a new company. So I don't know how many people. Oh, that's good. So anything, the good thing about it is, okay, Romeo, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. It's 5 people in here, so go ahead and hit the thumbs up. So it doesn't really say a whole lot in regards to how many customers and what type of packaging it is, but it does. One thing it does say is you must either have a sedan, a big enough sedan, or like a SUV. So you can't be driving around. You can't go up there with a small compact car and expect to pick up delivery. So you must have a SUV, which basically is like um, bigger than a compact car. Like it's like the SUV, of course, you know, Nissan Rogue or Toyota Rav or something, you know, a truck. It don't have to be that huge of an SUV, but in regards to a car, it has to be like a four-door sedan, which is a pretty good size. It's like that Kia Optima. I was able to um, put packages in the back seat and the trunk, and it was like it could be like anywhere like 30 something packages or something would fit in an SUV. Now, that was one thing, main thing that I came across. So today, when I came across it on Facebook, I signed up, and just like usual, they ask you for your make sure you have insurance, driver's license, they do a background check, and then the onboarding process pretty much is you click on an onboarding process. So today I went to an onboarding process where they show you, you download the app. And you download the app. Let me see if I can show you what it looks like. Now I finally figured out how to you share your screen, not share your screen, how to actually share your screen while I do recordings on your phone. I finally figured that out over the weekend. So I would do a video, like a how-to video on some of the things that I've been doing, especially survey.com. And I did do a video, but I didn't download it. I just wanted to test it out. So I'm going to do that now that I know how to do it. So VHO basically looks like this. Oops, the thing is too light. God dang it. Well, anyway, too light. And you download the app, and from there, you would fill out some information, and you look at some onboarding process where they show you exactly how to, and it's very simple how to work the app and how you go ahead and do that. Now, in regards to the cities that they serve, it's not all across the United States yet, but I know, let me look it up because I had it. I know it was like Atlanta was one, and Chicago, Illinois was another. Washington, D.C. metro area was the other location. Philadelphia. Let me see what else. Hold on a second. Let me look at this dang list. It don't really. It tell you all this on the Facebook, but okay, they are in Arlington, Virginia, Atlanta, Georgia, Austin, Texas, Chicago, Illinois, Colorado Springs, Dallas, DWV, which is Dallas Fort Worth. They said it's California, but they didn't say where in California. So those are where they are at this time. Now, obviously, they must be a little bit established because they have other positions other than being a driver that I saw. I said, "Oh, I mean, look." They did say they were hiring remote customer service to work from home because when you have an issue, you could go on the app and actually communicate and trying to communicate with customer service. So when I had sent them a message about where exactly the warehouse is in Atlanta, they pretty much responded pretty quickly. So, and so that was one interesting thing. So right now, I'm doing the process. I already did the application. I already started I downloaded the app. Right now I'm just waiting for the background check to be done, which should be done within 24 hours because I've had background checks done with Sterling. That's the company they use. So it ain't too much change with my background. So, and then after that, I will be able to go online, check to see if they have any deliveries available by clicking on route offerings. And then if there's a route offer, then I could just simply click on it and then choose it. Now, it is first come, first serve. So, and the other thing is they let you do at least 2 routes a day. You can't do no more than 2. So you could do at least 2 route offers per day that you could work. Now, now whether or not one route could take you a few hours or whatever the case may be, at least you know where you are driving to, and you could plan your drive and you could plan your day. So that was one major thing that I've noticed that was different from being, say, Amazon Flex driver and some other um, companies. But they said the zip code is 30318 in Atlanta, and that's basically like West Buckhead. It's either Alpharetta or it's like West Buckhead, but it's in Fulton County. So I don't know exactly. When I did the Google search for that zip code, it popped up says Alpharetta, but then it also says it showed me an area like West Buckhead, which could be Fulton County. So I don't know. Who knows? Now, will I be doing this? It depends. It depends on one, where that warehouse is, and two, what kind of coverage area do you drive? Because I'm not trying to make this another job because y'all know I already do a whole lot of other gigs with a whole bunch of other little things from merchandising and working at Amazon, which I'll be going back to work this weekend on Saturday because it was approved officially today. And I'll be going back with Amazon. So luckily for me, working on a Saturday, that's the end of the work week. So I'll work that night and then I'll be off until the following week. So that's a good thing. And then also, as it gets closer to the end of the year, because it's already halfway mark on September, before I know it, October will be here. And that'll be the last quarter of the year. And then I'll be getting my equipment from TurboTax. So I'll be, doing training with TurboTax for that first coming 2 weeks. You have to do the training. And then January going forward, it'll be extremely busy. So by then, in regards to Amazon, I had to wait 30 days all over again to see if I could transfer to the location up the street from my house or simply change my schedule and work part-time because even though I'm working only 36 hours, that's considered full-time, but they do have part-time schedules. And I was really looking into probably most possibly changing over to part-time. Now, the other opportunity that I was speaking of, which I didn't know I got accepted until I had checked my email and checked the spam, is this nonprofit organization called USA Generation. USA.generation.com. One thing I don't like about YouTube live stream is that I'm not able to share the screen compared to StreamYard. So I think in a couple of days I will be going to do the StreamYard so I can share some of these things that I've been talking about because it's easier to talk about. So anyway, let me tell you about this. Generation is a nonprofit organization based in Washington, D.C., where they do training for different careers, such as software development, digital marketing, IT support, and a few other programs. It's free, meaning you don't have to pay for anything. So I came across this opportunity on the radio. It was listed on the radio, and when I got home, I said, "Ooh, what was that organization?" So when I looked it up, I had signed up a couple weeks ago, early in the month in September, September 2nd or so. So I feel that I went online, read about it, and I was very, I was like, oh, intrigued. Y'all know I've been trying to do Udacity and all these kind of online. Hey, Vicky, I've been for like since 2016, 2017. I've been trying to learn and get into coding and a brand new career in IT. I went did the Google certificate program on Google and Udacity and a couple of these um, companies that were offering free training for IT so they could, get more people in the certain fields in high demand. Now, as most people probably know, the IT field, particularly software engineering and anything in IT, not anything in IT, but a lot of positions, data analysts, they have a big shortage of people that's in demand in these type of careers. And you see a lot of places advertise, even on Facebook, you know, they offering cybersecurity boot camp at most of these major universities and colleges. It's not like that you get a bachelor's degree or anything, you actually get a certificate. And you could go through these companies, which are usually third party companies that works with these major colleges and universities, as well as um, 2-year schools and colleges offer these programs to train people because there's like millions of openings that plan on being available even up into the year 2030 that they need people to train. Even Amazon is trying to offer its training programs to its associates by offering people to go back to school. Amazon has its own academy that they choose people in, after 1 year service, you could go to Amazon Academy and they'll train you to become a software developer. So when I came across this program, nonprofit organization, usageneration.com, it is bridge the gap of minorities, particularly Black people, to go into careers that is going to be suitable. Now, the sponsor for the program that I had when I took a questionnaire, I took like these assessment tests. It's not hard, but well, at least not hard to me. It wasn't hard for me, and they put me in the program that I got accepted like 2 weeks ago, and it was for the junior Java. It was the, let me see exactly. Hold on a second. I'm gonna tell you exactly what the program was. Now, when I looked this up, let me tell you, everything is free. If it's certifications involved, you don't. That's free, and they also have career coaching. They have partnerships with major companies. So after you finish the program, you could get into a apprenticeship program, say like at Verizon and things of that nature. Now, I'm in the junior full stack Java developer program. I'm in the cohort number one, they say in Denver. Now, everything is online. And the thing about this is it's Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, but it's Western Standard Time. So it's 9 to 5 Mountain Time. So that means it would be 9, 10, 11, 12 to 8. Now, I did send them a message and ask them about the time because they said Mountain Time. So I assumed that I would be Eastern time zone from that. Now, there's a 3-day mandatory orientation, which is the 27th. So 2 weeks from now, there will be an orientation from the 27th of September for 3 days, and they'll go into further about expectations and about what the Pacific program that I will be in and everything else. Now it is set up like a boot camp style training. They said. Now I know, I don't understand. I didn't know what the boot camp style training it is, but when there was other programs that has a boot camp for these courses, for these classes, and these type of training, most of these boot camps that I came across throughout the years was like, 23,000. A couple months it was like 5,000. This was a couple years ago, so it's not it ain't free. So what intrigued me was, one, because it was free. They said free because it's a nonprofit organization, and they also offer different types of assistance that one may need. They asked me questions when I was filling out the application, like, do you need anything like daycare assistance in terms of like rent, transportation, a whole bunch of things. So I know in Washington, D.C., if you go to this program, and you can go online and sign up, if you live in Washington, D.C., for instance, they'll give you a free computer. And I got an email about that. I said, dang, I don't live in D.C. So, but if you did live in D.C., DMV area, and you was in this program, they offer a lot of resources. They are also based in Louisiana, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Denver, Orlando, Florida. I might be missing a couple of other cities here and there, but you could live in any state. But they started out mainly in those cities at first, and then they added on other cities. They only been around, I would say, for at least 2 years, but they got that $1 million grants from Verizon. So they have a lot of major partners and companies that they work with. So I did see a few YouTube videos about it, about some of the students and some people who, you don't have to have no background in IT. But depending on your comfort level, I didn't want to do IT technical support. I didn't want to do that. I said, nope. Based on my scores and based on my interests, I wanted to learn something totally new. So now I don't know how I'm going to swing this, because if the hours is what it is, I mean, I only work 3 days at Amazon. Now I don't know what's going to happen at the end of the month, because when I go back to work, if it becomes a bit too much, then I'm just going to resign, because number one, well, I'm not going to resign yet. I'm going to see if I could get a modified schedule. The only day that may be an issue is probably Thursday and Friday, since the classes may run during the time I'm supposed to be at work. So, and I don't want to delay this for another. I don't want to delay it and say, no, can I start another cohort later on in the year? Because I don't know what's going to happen later on in the year. Now, they may come back and change the schedule time, but they'll let me know. If there's a change in scheduling, then they will inform me in the email if they have to change, if the dates that I mentioned changes, because it's still a good 2 more weeks later. So, anything could happen. Because I sworn that when I did sign up for this, I thought that the Atlanta cohort was supposed to start October. Now, maybe I'm putting the cohort which says Denver. Maybe there's another one in October in Atlanta, but they do work with other major colleges. Now, when I looked this up, it was at Denver Community College. So basically, the online training is going to go through Denver Community College. So it's not going to be like Generation USA. It's basically they hook up with other major colleges across the country, and they do online training. So a lot of colleges now, you don't have to go to a physical brick and mortar school, but I know the one in Louisiana, they had brick and mortar because with that flooding happened, they had canceled or delayed the program. They didn't delay because I think they already started. I think because of all that happened with the flooding and stuff, they had put a suspension on class until everything gets back to normal. So I don't know what school or which university the one in Louisiana is affiliated with because there's so many schools there. I doubt it's going to be any of the HBCUs. So it's probably going to be like either University of New Orleans or Tulane or something like that. I don't know. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is that this is free. They have they said they had like a 85% placement rate or something like that. 75, 85% placement rate. So that means when most people get placed after finishing. And everything is free. So anything that comes with any type of certifications, it'll be paid for. Now they give you all the tools and resources to study, and then by this being the style of boot camp, you actually be working on real projects. So it ain't gonna. So I'm looking forward to see how it goes, and because I've done so many different programs on my own, like Udacity and then the Google certification, and a lot of those things that I was doing, it wasn't like I didn't understand it. It was just like too pre-recorded, meaning that when I did Udacity and try to learn Python, and the person, it was pre-recorded, it was taped, so you could do it at any time. But I won't say it went too fast. It was like you didn't really learn anything. It was a lot of theories, and the person who was teaching it, was this Asian woman, this young girl. She was, first of all, I didn't really understand what she was saying because she spoke too fast. It was too simplistic. You didn't really learn anything in the main terms of major concepts, and you didn't work on any projects. You didn't do any type of, okay, we're going to work on a project, and this is going to, because, you have to have some type of portfolio to show when you work and that you actually did software development, something. You have to show some kind of portfolio. So when you go and say, okay, I've learned web development, but these are the websites that I built, you can show that to employees and you get hands-on training. So one thing it was about Udacity was it was too simplistic. You didn't really gain anything. I mean, I didn't feel that I learned anything with that. It was something like, okay, it gives you an idea of what it is, but it doesn't give you the actual training. And that was one of the things I didn't too much like, because I spent a lot of time doing it, but I didn't have nothing to show. I couldn't put down, oh yes, I know how to do Python and go to a job and use it and actually learn it. I learned the basics, so that was a good thing. I was able to learn the basics, and from that learning the basics, it piqued my interest, and I said, you know what, that is something I would like to do. And a lot of companies, when I look at different careers and I click on a company and I look at the career section, all I see is data analyst, software developer, Java develop. I mean, a whole slew of positions. The pay salary 85,000, six figures. 90 something thousand. I mean, it's like, it's truly pays very well. And even Amazon, if I click on Amazon, you see way more positions in some type of in that particular in IT. Now I'm not talking about technical support, like okay, someone calls in, I can't work my I ain't talking about that. Those are entry level. When I mean IT, I'm talking about like software developer, engineer, those type of STEM, the STEM careers. And you don't necessarily have to go to a 4 year college, because when you go to a regular 4 year college, you're getting a degree in computer science. But you don't really learn those type of tools in an undergrad. You really don't. Now, you may get that type of experience and say you major in something like computer science and go to undergrad. You only learn those things to say you go to do an internship, or you getting backed up by the name of the college. Like if you went to Georgia Tech and you graduated, and then people do, they go into graduate school and learn different projects. You know, you learn those type of skill sets to be an undergrad, but you're not learning programming. You don't really learn those things. Now, if you went to a 2 year school and you may major in you know certain types of programs, you get to learn that type of skills, you know. But that's been more recent. And when I mean recent, I'm talking about in the last 10, 15, maybe 20. No, because things has evolved in those 20 years, from 2000 now. A lot of these careers didn't exist when I was going to school. Even when I got my MBA, a lot of those things didn't exist. So basically, my degrees is obsolete. I might as well just burn it in the garbage. I might as well just throw it in the garbage, because that's not going to get me any job. That's not job, because I don't want a job. A job is just over broke. A job is McDonald's. A job is working at warehouse, work at Amazon or whatever. Working from home in customer service. That's a job. I want a career. And I think since the time I graduated from South Carolina to Capella with my MBA, taking classes at Strayer. Even though the classes I was taking for accounting, I was, the IRS paid for those classes, and I had, and that skill is something I could use now, because I was able to work at TurboTax. You constantly learning taxes, tax code changes. But to be honest, I really didn't have to go to college in no form or fashion. If I could turn that clock back around and turn the clock back, I wouldn't have went to college. I would have been just exactly what my niece told my sister. Mom, why I gotta go to college when I could be paid to go to school if I wanted to? And she went into both of them. One went to college initially, Alabama State, and then, she wanted to go to the Navy, and then she ended up going to the Navy, and then she got a medical discharge after, she'd been there, 5 years in the Navy. The other one, she's in the Marines, real petite. She learned to speak, both of them learned to speak Arabic fluently, because they was working for the NSA. No, one of them is gonna, but both of them working? No, they didn't start working because they training is actually very long, especially in that type of linguistics. You training for 2 3 years before you really start going into the national security and things of that nature. So one is in medical discharge. So she got discharged from the Navy early this year. And she's married, got 2 little children, living with my sister, her and her husband, and the kids living in Albany, Georgia. So I'm not sure if she found a job yet, but I don't know. She's in the process of trying to look for something, but for now, she'll just collect her disability and things like that. But her career was cut short because of headaches and migraines and stuff. So, and then the other one, she's, the younger one, she's in the Marines. She didn't do the Navy. She said she wanted to go to the Marines. I was like, what? Marines? That little petite. She's in the Marines? But yep, if y'all seen a picture of her, y'all would say, oh, but she went on to Marines. She's very smart, intelligent. She probably could have went, if she went to college, she probably would have gone Ivy League, or she would have went to a very good school. That's how smart she is. But she said, nope, why go to college, put yourself in debt, and she could actually learn something by going to the service. And her test scores were very high, and she went on to learn, and she speaks Arabic, and she's going into the national security. So she could probably do her years there and come out and probably go into whatever career she could do, especially learning that type of skills. Ain't no telling. So I say all that to say that if, and military is not always the route to go for everyone, but if you're a younger person or a person who's going through a career transition such as I am, because yeah, I have the skill sets of taxes and learning taxes and stuff like that. But I've been doing that for over 10 years. I've been doing that over 20 years of taxes. And yeah, I'm going to study for the EA enrollment agent exam, start my little tax consulting business. But I'm going to go into another career and hopefully going through this program in the next couple of weeks. And I could learn something totally different. And I think I like structure. I can't do learning by looking at videos and then trying to, take all these notes. All this, if I could show y'all, I've been taking little notes and stuff, writing things down and trying to learn. And then I was like, it wasn't like I could retain it. I mean, I understood it, but it wasn't. I said, I'm not building a portfolio. I'm not actually learning the actual job as a software developer doing the Google. Now, the Google certification, you see a lot of things on YouTube or a lot of advertisements. People say, I got 3 certifications with Google certifications. Okay. I could go through the IT certification with Google, but I don't want to work for Apple and some of these other, concentrics say, oh, technical support, handling phones. It's about looking up. You can look up a lot of things. And technical support, technical support, it ain't nothing more than customer service, answering people who don't know how to work a basic computer, or telling them how to download software. That's real basic. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, because some people don't know, but if it's something, but I don't want to do that, because that ain't nothing but customer service, and you can help people how to navigate to use their phone, which these phones ain't nothing but a mini computer in your hand, or how to help people with technical support with the TurboTax software, and people say, I bought this from the store and I don't know, and you have to instruct people how to configure a software that's like they got Windows 7, they got these old version of Windows from 10 years ago, and they still got the computer, and you have to tell them, no, you need to upgrade this, you need to download this patch, you need to download this, That's technical support, and it could be a headache. And I've done that for so long, I've done that too, so at this point, I'm gonna I would suggest for those who are stuck, I could tell people how to look up different organizations, different programs that one could pursue. But even Amazon is offering for the year 2030, they're trying to skill up their workforce to do something of a career that's in demand. Even Amazon offers that, and it's free. They do free tuition, 95% of tuitions for programs that's in demand. It has to be in demand. And then I read a couple weeks ago, no, last week, that Amazon is um, now offering to pay a regular degree starting January. You don't even have to be there a year. They said starting, you could be there 3 months at Amazon working full time, and I think they offer part time that they'll pay for you to go to get your bachelor's degree starting in January. So January of this year, that's a new program incentive. I just read it. I was like, what? I said, because they trying to get employees. They trying to retain employees because people are leaving left and right. And then every day I get an email about some kind of, you got a message from your site. Someone got COVID. Every day, every day, every day. I'm getting these alerts multiple times during the day. Someone got reported with COVID on the site. They worked this day between this day and that day. And I was like, okay, remember I tell you about that mandate that President Biden enforced? I didn't elaborate too much on that. So now everybody at the damn Amazon, and that's just my location, ain't no telling all across the other locations what's going on. People getting COVID. I'm like, why the fuck? And it ain't like they got vaccinated. They got COVID because they probably didn't take the test. They didn't take the shots. So let me briefly tell you about that, and then I'm gonna go because I've been on here 52 minutes and y'all ain't seem to be on here. So Biden administration says if you're a federal employee or you do business with the government, you're required to get vaccinated. You cannot do business with the government, and all federal employees have to be vaccinated. There is no, we're going to test you every day. They're not going to do that. So if you ain't vaccinated, you an employee of the federal government, or if you're a business and you do business with the government, you're required to get vaccinated. Now people say, why ain't nobody going to force me to do, it's my body, it's my choice. Fuck your choices. Because if people had followed along this, when this vaccination came out, this thing wouldn't be so bad. And it's getting worse. It's getting worse. So this ain't got nothing to do with my choice, my body, because this is an international crisis. And now I heard that it's not even Delta variant. It's now called Mu. So I guess they're going to go through every Latin letters: Alpha, Lambda, Mu, Kappa, Sigma, Omega. They're going to go through every one of those Greek numbers, or letters rather, before this thing ever gets fun. And I don't care what anybody say. Being vaccinated is no different than being vaccinated for polio, the mumps, the measles, chickenpox, and being vaccinated when people give birth to children. And even if they have these religious things about this because they religion they haven't vaccinated, trust me, the Mennonites and the whatever, it's only one group, I think. Mennonites, they also like Quakers in a sense. They live in isolated communities where there's only those people live amongst their little circle, and they don't live and have technology. They don't have, and I don't even think that's a religious thing about not taking a shot. I don't know. All I know is you don't see no Mennonites, you don't see Quakers around unless you live in Philly, and you may see them go to the market and stuff like that. In Ohio, they got those small communities, and you see them riding around in a buggy because they don't drive cars and nothing like that. And even then, they're self-sufficient because they live on the land. They do, they live like it's an 18 something. Now, I don't know if they're immune from it or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I haven't yet. No one has not done a documentary or story about COVID and the Mennonites and the Quakers, but I'm quite sure if somebody was to think about doing that, and going there and seeing how they handling COVID and stuff, and why, if they're getting it or if they're not getting it or what's going on. I don't know. Maybe I need to take one of these one of these cameras I got and do it, and then probably be picked up and says, "Oh, that's an interesting story." But I'm not a documentary. I'm not planning on going to any of the communities and interviewing people about that. But that would be something curious. That'd be something good to do. I won't be surprised if somebody make a story on that. You know, but I guess one, you have to get those people to get on TV to agree to such things, because the Quakers and the Mennonites is totally different sectors. The Mennonites, listen, Vicky, I'm not repeating myself. Pay attention. You have to Google it yourself. I ain't trying to Google everything and explain nothing. That's a whole new topic. So what was I saying before I got sidetracked? Oh, okay. So the government with the shots, and because I think I explained it wrong when I talked about this. The other thing was, if you have 200 or more employees, you have to make sure that you have to make sure your business is vaccinated. So if you are a small business of 200 employees or more, they have to be vaccinated. So there is no we're going to test every day. So for instance, if a company or business violates the mandate, they get fined. So for each violation, they're going to get fined. So ain't nobody going to hire no company's going to hire people to work and they're not going to be vaccinated. And before they even hire people, you're going to get vaccinated. And if you don't want to be vaccinated, then, oh, well, I guess you have to quit and resign. And there are people who actually resigned from their job because they didn't want the vaccine and they quit. Now, unless you plan on being on your own business for yourself, self-employed, only you and maybe a few other people, unless you plan on being very few people and you being self-employed and you got millions and millions of dollars to sustain yourself, fine and dandy. But a majority of people are not in that situation. And ain't no company gonna pay no, $15,000 fine every time either. So if you not vaccinated and this ain't not being working for the government or whatever, just like this hockey player, this couple people that you're saying, they quit or got fired because they didn't want to take the vaccine. They said, okay, well, sorry. You can't get no unemployment either. You can't fire them and get unemployment. No, you cannot. You quit because you didn't want to take the vaccine. And now they say that this thing mutated to mu. So I don't know when the hell this thing gonna be over with, or if it's ever gonna be over with. Now, in terms of booster shots, I don't know. They haven't said, but it's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous, and I don't know. I just think while that vaccine is free, go ahead and take that shot. And because I told y'all, even companies, if you have insurance, if you got that shot, your insurance premiums, they're gonna, like Delta, they said it's gonna be $200-$300 more per month if you're not vaccinated on your plan. And in terms of insurance company, they suggested it. They have not yet said it. The booster shot is because it's not for the previous variant. It is the mutated variant. There wouldn't be no booster shots if they had the percentage of people in the United States and worldwide was to take that vaccine when they said they needed a certain number of people percentage wise, for it not to not spread, there wouldn't be no need. The booster shot is not because it didn't work. The booster shot is because if this new variant, which is the Delta, which is now another mutated called Mu, is for that. It's to protect you from the new variant. Now I'm not an epidemiologist. I don't study that. I didn't go to school for it, but I know a little bit of something by my research when I worked at Maximus or the CDC, taking calls, answering questions, is that this mutated to a new strain. And when they wanted like 60 something percent of people or whatever it was by July to be vaccinated, and people like, people are not going to take it. That's why we were getting no calls. People are not going to take it. If they didn't take it by this vaccine been out since December of last year. December. Here it is, December. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Well, September. 9 months, going on 10 months since this vaccine been out. And you still have a small percentage of people in the United States that didn't take the vaccine. And then, to make matters worse, they said black folks wasn't even doing it either. They said it's like 20% of black people. I mean, it was like, really? Yeah, don't get me wrong. I was a little hesitant. I said, I'm not going to rush to take it yet. I'm going to wait and see. And I had waited till July when I took mine. I took mine in July because they didn't have it. They had it where you had to be a certain class or a certain group to take it from the beginning back in January, February. So I said, oh. And then when they did become widely available, meaning I didn't have to go downtown. I didn't have to go to down Georgia World Congress Center. And, because I wasn't trying to drive downtown. It wasn't about because I didn't want to go downtown. I don't like driving downtown. And then it was like, what? Where? And go through all that traffic and trying to figure out how to park and go to places. People say it was easy in and out, but I wasn't trying to go down to no Georgia World Congress Center and all that stuff. Because I don't like Atlanta. And I don't like driving down, especially if there was a crowd of people, because some of those cops in Atlanta be rude. Move, acting all crazy and stuff. So I said, nope. So, and I said, I'll wait till it comes up the street at the nearest CVS or Walgreens or whatever. And then that's what I did. So the booster shot, Vicky, is not yet required. They didn't say anything, oh, you got to get a booster. But it may, once they come forward with the FDA and stuff, then they may say is the third shot going to be necessary. But it's but if this Delta variant keeps spreading the way it is, and it boosts and it comes to something new, then to protect yourself against the new strain, then it may be best to take the booster shot. But all this stuff, people, ignorant, stupid things that I've been hearing about in different chats and groups that I've been listening to. I was like, you don't want to take it, don't take it. But don't keep repeating it to me about, I ain't taking it. Okay, fine. Don't fucking take it. Shit, I don't need to hear it. You don't want to take it, don't take it. But why I gotta hear it? I ain't gonna take it because I ain't gonna think. All right, fine. Get the fuck away from me, and don't call me. But I was in the hospital and I was sick because I didn't give you a fucking dime. I don't give a damn. I'll pray for you that you are saved. That in case if you die, you be able to go to heaven. I'll pray for your soul. But other than that, I'm not doing no GoFundMe. I'm not going, oh, so-and-so sick and they ain't got no money. Fuck you. And I don't care. Now that might sound mean and that may sound like, God damn, Teresa, that's being rude. That ain't rude. Don't come to me. Don't come to me with your, well, that poison and that did. And you sit up in here smoking weed and smoking cigarettes and putting all kind of stupid stuff in your body. If you could do all that, a little shot they got, something that you don't even feel. And then you hear these dumbass people. Well, my mom, she got the shot and she got sick of. No, she didn't get sick of no damn shot. She got sick because she was diabetic. And she got sick because she had high blood pressure. She was sick because she had lupus. She was sick because they had whatever. They didn't get shot. They did not get sick because of those shots. They got sick because they had already reoccurring disease. That's how they got sick. That's why I didn't get sick. When I took that shot the first time, I ain't feel nothing. The second time, I ain't feel nothing. But I can show you if I felt a little something or whatever, it's because my high blood pressure probably was up dealing with that stupid ass people at Amazon with that stupid ass Amcare with that bitch. When I got sick the second day at Amazon, my blood sugar was 450. I was sick because of that, not because of no damn virus shot. I was sick because my sugar level was off the chain. That's why I was sick. It had nothing to do with no damn shot. Like I said, I was a little apprehensive about that shot. My mother was apprehensive about that shot. But this was way before. This was way in the beginning. She said, I don't know. My mother, she's the main one. Just thought, I don't know. I ain't going to just take no shot. Just, I'm going to, But then after a while, when more information came out and more stuff started, then she took it. My mother and my sister took it before I took the shot. They had the shot months early in the year. They had got their shot. I mean, anybody's going to be a little bit apprehensive, a little bit skeptical in the beginning. But to say, I'm not going to take it at all, I'm going to wait. After 7-8 months, this thing been out, what you waiting on? Now, I can say in the beginning, it could be a little bit, you could be a little bit more like, I don't know. The first couple of weeks, because the first December, January, February, the first 3 months or so, you had to be in a certain group, and then they allow you to take it. But did y'all know that when they was coming up with the virus and the studies, they already had millions of people who were testing. They were people who were testing it. They were testing it. They didn't just give the shot and that's it. They had a test group of people. I don't know how they got into that. I don't know how they got it. I don't know what you're talking about, these nuts, but I'm not in the mood to be hearing about what you don't trust. So don't go up there and talk about you don't trust. Because this thing is becoming a very hard situation where people got to stay at home, not even stay at home, that this is really being a little bit ridiculous. Y'all being a little bit dumb and y'all being a bunch of jackasses. And if you don't like what I had to say, you can unsubscribe. I'm sorry. I don't need no one coming on here. I don't trust it. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Because until you could explain to a mother who never see their child, you know what? Stop saying that it was thrown together. It was not thrown together. That wasn't something you just throw together. Let me educate y'all. COVID-19 was not something that just came about last year. COVID-19, when they had SARS, SARS, back in years ago, they already had COVID back in China. It didn't spread out worldwide like it did. They had other COVID, SARS outbreaks that been happened. Been happened. The only reason why it did not come to United States was because they already had surveillance on China, communist China, and stopped it. Could have been Ebola was way much worse than this thing that's going on now. Even the other COVID-19 from last year, that was worse. They did not. The only reason why Ebola didn't break out like the way it did was because when President Obama, now how long ago was that? 12 years ago, 13 years now, he had it in place and it stopped. Everything ain't meant to be said up in public all the time. Why are you getting so mad? I did work for the CDC, these nuts. Didn't I just say I worked at Maximus and I was working as a contractor over the summer answering calls for the CDC? So yes. So before you try to get all smart, yes, I did. And if you watched my video and paid attention, you would have heard me say that a couple months ago when I said I was sitting here and supposed to get calls for people who had questions about it. So yes, I did work as a contractor for a third-party company and worked at the CDC. So yes, I did. I don't have to be an epidemiologist. I don't have to be in no. I'm mad because people are coming over here talking stupid and making and saying, no, I don't have to watch my tone. You can get off my channel, these nuts. What about that? So don't tell me to watch my tone. You want to watch your tone? You make a channel and do your own tone, and you talk to anyone and what. So you could get on and have a good night. And good night. Bye. Dumbass. I said I wasn't going to be apologetic, and I'm not going to be apologetic. Not over people coming on here, I don't trust. Well, keep it to yourself. You were forewarned when I said, if you got something that got opinion, keep your opinions to yourself. So I don't give a damn about my tone. Fuck you. And if you don't choose to come back, bye. My channel ain't monetized anyway. So you ain't helping. You are not affecting my pocket one way or the other. Because you come on here all the time, you come over here like a clown and all kind of crazy stuff. So too bad. And I'm not apologizing either. Because I'm sick and tired of people coming in here. Well, they said, they're making up some theories and all kind of things that ain't make no sense. Back up what you need to say. But I don't trust. That's wrong with fucking black folks. And I'm not assuming, I don't know if you're white, black, whatever. But with that name, you're probably black. See, that's the problem. Most black folks, they just come up there and just say any kind of stupid shit. And then at the same time, they got their fucking hand out. Always got their hand out. Always wanting something. Is it gonna be a third stimulus? Is it gonna be a fifth stimulus? I need some money. I need money now. I need this. I need that. You need. What you need is some common sense. What you need is to start thinking outside the box and stop thinking so small about, oh no, it's gonna happen. Shoot. If you feel offended about it, I don't care if you ever come back to my channel, these nuts. I don't care. But I'm gonna be very dead serious. You could have your opinions. You can make whatever choice you need to make. But don't come up in here and try to, just sprue your opinion and the lowest number of people not even trying to even look and educate themselves. That don't make any sense. You sit here and tell me they just gonna throw something together just for the sake of throwing stuff together. Really? They were better off not making a vaccine, because if they didn't come up with this vaccine, they probably say, you know what, we're just gonna shut down for another year. The reason why they let this thing get out of hand was because because you listen to Trump. Oh, this is seasonal. Oh, this is cold. Oh, this is um this gonna end by July 4th. Really, July 4th. Okay. You're gonna open up gyms, hair salons, and all these businesses because people are crying about broke. I'm broke. I'm broke. The economy been gone through an economic stage before this COVID thing hit. They were saying they was going to enter a recession way before this thing came about. This then, businesses failed and businesses collapsed because they weren't stable in the first goddamn place. You know? So don't come telling me watch my tone. No, I'm not going to watch my tone because if people have a attitude and a passion about things, this wouldn't have got out of hand. Hey, Blue True. Shoot, how you gonna sit there and eat all kind of food and put it in your mouth, eat all kind of vegetables and shove it down your mouth, and you think those things don't have, hey Colas, you think those things don't have some type of chemicals on it? You die from chemicals and poison and all kind of pesticides on your vegetables, then you have been taking a shot in your arm. You have all that happen, and people die of food poisoning because they didn't properly prepare their food when they cooked it, or didn't, or go to restaurants. You don't know what the hell they doing. How are you gonna trust? You trust going to a place to eat? People trust that. Cause I ain't even talking to you because see you a troll, or you're an automatic troll because you come on here a whole lot more than anybody else with 20 threads of comments. Well, that's you. They give you to October 22nd. Now you tell me how many jobs that you gonna work for that they ain't gonna require you take no vaccine, unless it has under 100 employees, less than 100 employees, and a small business. Most of the time, you ain't gonna find two. You find a small business that's 2, 3 people. It's a small operation, so you ain't gonna find no company that's gonna be less than 100 people that's gonna not require you to get vaccinated. So, and you good look on finding a job where you're gonna find people that's gonna have a staff of less than 100, and they ain't gonna be hiring either. We got 70 employees. Trust me, small business that has that little staff of people, depending on what industry, they ain't gonna pay you a whole lot of money. Number one. Number two, if you could eat meat, food, whatever, what you think they put in those things? When they process meats and they package meats and all that stuff, what you think they put in those cows and pigs and anything else? Even eggs. Everything ain't 100% natural. There's no natural nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing you could buy that was made in the last 50 years that was not processed in some sort. No matter how healthy you may think you eat, no matter how healthy you think you are, meat, whatever, pick your choice. You see a lot of things that says natural beef, natural chicken, no hormones, no whatever added it to it. Unless you plan on paying a price for that type of food. Okay, callers. I had to boot somebody out of here who got all offended. These nuts got all offended. So why you gotta use that tongue? Why you gotta use, I don't trust, I don't trust nobody who could walk up in there and walk up in any store and just walk up there with nothing on their face, knowing damn well they ain't took no damn shot. Be all up in the public, making other people sick. Now I know my topic wasn't even supposed to be about this. It wasn't even supposed to be about this. Shoot. Don't make no sense. I know when I showed proof of my shots, when I worked at Amazon, they gave me $100. So they had to give me $100 to take a shot. They gave me $100 because I showed proof that I took the shot. So that $100, they gonna give $100 one way or the other. All that money is coming straight up from that tax credit that these companies and businesses and nonprofit organizations get. That's what that is. You wait till next year. You wait till next year come for sure when when these insurance companies start saying if you in the hospital because you got COVID, they're not gonna pay for they're not gonna pay for it. You wait and see. I ain't taking a shot. I ain't wearing no mask. And you get sick up in the hospital. And then you go to the hospital. Yeah, they say they have to treat you. But if they got a whole bed crowded and everything else, they just gonna let you die. They may in God forbid. I said that's why I said for God forbid. You in Florida, ain't no beds. Mississippi, ain't no beds. I don't know about Georgia. I haven't kept up too much about if they have beds and stuff. But shoot, if this thing blew up like it did earlier last year, and they ain't had no beds, they had to make extra beds outside the parking lot and tents and all that kind of stuff, and there ain't no ventilators and all. Ugh. No, I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. It's beds. They lying. They lying about what? What they lying about? Tell me. Tell me these nuts. What are they lying about? Cause see, you come on here talk about bye, and then here you coming back. You told me bye. Then you tell me bye. So why are you coming back? When I was on live stream in StreamYard and I put a link to have people come on here, and y'all don't want to come on here. Now when I go on live YouTube live, ain't nobody want to come on here. Now my thing start over again tomorrow with the live stream. I'm gonna be on the StreamYard tomorrow, and I'm gonna put a link. And when I put a link on there tomorrow, y'all come on here and you can talk to me face to face. Yeah, you know you couldn't stay away because you know what I'm saying is true. That's why you couldn't stay away. You know damn well that, and I don't know why you gonna question about my tone. You've been following me for the longest time. You know my tone do not change. I do not stray from the way I am. I'm not fake. I'm not phony, and I don't just um change up. Oh God, if I ever had a meet and greet, I ain't gonna become arguing and be yeah. If I do a meet and greet, I'll be social. Shoo. That's your belief. You don't want to take no facts. That's fine. Don't take it. Whatever. It ain't. I am not the only one that has the same position that I'm speaking on. So you don't have to believe it. I just know one thing: why they politicizing this whole entire thing. That's the question. Why? Why all of a sudden, they people. You know what? I don't want to talk about this no more. I don't want to talk about this no more. All I know is if they didn't want to do the vaccine, if they didn't want to do whatever, they should have kept this thing closed for at least a year. Let that thing die down. Let it not, that's what they should have done. Isolate it and do what they doing up there in Australia. That's what they should have done. And the only people who need to go outside is the people who's essential, and not no damn um, Uber Eats and Grubhub and all these other stuff. They could have closed the year. They could have gave this what I think they should have done. They should have closed the year, give everybody out of that $1 trillion stimulus, all these stimulus that they was doing. What they should have done was gave everybody $20,000. Say, okay, everybody, $20,000. Working people, not bums, not people who ain't work, and not people who in prison and stuff. They should have gave every working person, not based on family size either. If they should have gave $20,000. Now I'm just giving a minimum. It could have been more than that. I don't know. I'm just saying. They could have closed down for a whole year, gave everybody like $20,000, $25,000, and people would have stayed home. And then if you were a business that lost money, the tax code would allow businesses, whether small or big, sole proprietor or whatever, they could have gave them roll back, carry forward any losses of expenses on the profits. That's what they should have done. They should have gave everybody, say, stay home, lock, the only people who need to be out is people essential, like picking up garbage, people who work sanitation, I'm not frustrated. I'm just sick and tired. I'm just sick and tired of all the shenanigans and all the foolishness that people don't make no sense. If you're going to argue or make an argument, I'd rather that people make an argument and make their point. I'm not saying I'm 100% right, and I'm not saying I'm a 99% right or right at all. You entitled to your opinion? I'm entitled to my opinion. But God damn it, I'm not sitting here when people say silly stuff. If you don't believe it, keep it to yourself. Don't say, I ain't taking that poison. I mean, really? Really? I ain't taking a shot. It came out too quick. It came out too quick. I didn't even finish my point about the SARS. So when the SARS and stuff, those SARS and COVID and stuff, when it was like COVID 1, 2, 3, those things been out years ago. It's just a different strand that comes out every so many 10 years. But they've been had this SARS. Back in 19, what was it? Not 80, what was it? 2000 something, they had a SARS. It was a COVID. But it didn't leave anywhere. It stayed up there in China. And then whatever they did, you didn't hear nothing about it. You didn't hear that much. You didn't hear that story as much. I heard it. I remember it when they were talking about it. It was like, SARS, what the hell? I've been read that. I read that a few years ago. But the only reason why it wasn't something widely known was because it did not break out into the United States. That thing stopped. They've been making diagnoses and potions and motions and stuff. So when they came out with this thing in December, that wasn't something, they always had viruses. They always had all these strains of they always had these strains of viruses and all this kind of stuff. Everything ain't meant to be known to the public, Everything that comes out, they don't tell everything. Some stuff you got to keep a secret. That's the problem. Everybody want to think that just because you didn't hear about it, that don't mean that it's something that's been in the makings. The Ebola didn't break out to the United States was because trust and believe. If President Obama had that surveillance up there about it, they said, oops, that national security, they informed President Obama, ooh, this Ebola. Even though it was, they said, oh, we gotta stop that. That's why Ebola didn't break out. That's why Ebola didn't reach the United States because they stopped it in the tracks. Swine flu, that's the thing, 1919 Spanish flu. I'm talking about, and I ain't talking about something from years, decades ago. I'm talking about the most recent thing in 20 something years. They've been had COVID of different things and different strands, and they stopped it. The only reason why this thing came out and reached the United States was because that damn Trump sat up in there and dismantled President Obama's task force about that. Ended it. No, we gonna end that. We gonna end this. We ain't gonna do this no more. The agency that he abolished that was under President Obama, he demolished. He did not want to do it. He demolished it, disbanded. So all that work, all that intelligence, all that stuff that was done was because he didn't want to. Hey, Sally, he didn't want to have it because President Obama thought about it, enforced it. So all these damn Peckerwoods and all these damn crackers and all these damn hillbillies that be on CNN, I am telling you why I ain't take it because me, I ain't because they didn't because they ousted my president. That's why I ain't taking it. I don't trust it. That sound just as dumb. These dumb Peckerwoods they showed on CNN yesterday. I was watching. I was like, you know what, y'all people are so stupid. I ain't getting this small little town in what was it, Kansas? Was it Kansas or Kentucky? One of those little hick towns. 95% of the town got COVID, and it was all kind of. And this newscaster, young white girl, went up there talking to them and why they didn't get the COVID. They all up in there. All of them people in this small town got COVID. All of them. And then they had this one dumb, stupid ass Peckerwood talk about, well, I ain't get it because they ain't got my president. They just, and Trump don't care nothing about your dumb Peckerwoods, dumb crackers, that, hillbilly, whatever. He ain't give a fuck about y'all. He could give a damn rat ass about you and about some poor white trash. Give me a break. My president, your President Trump used to be a Democrat that was very liberal back in the 80s and it was shoulder to shoulder with the Clintons and was not even the Republican as most people think. He's not even a Republican. Trump don't care. Don't know about those damn white folk crackers. That's what be killing me. My president, your president could give two red ass. Your president would have, if Trump was still in, he probably had all those industrial plants and everything else closing down. Your job would have been most definitely been dismantled. If you ain't one of those elite, rich Easterners or Northerners, he don't. He ain't care nothing about it unless you got money. That's why when you think about people like Kanye West and some of these, what's that one with the thing, teeth in the hair? You know what I'm talking about? That other rapper. He was on The Apprentice. So black folks support Trump too. Don't get me wrong. He ain't for no white folks. He ain't for no black folks. He ain't for nobody. Unless you got some money and you rich, that's what he care about. He don't care about people. He care about your status. If you got money, Kanye West, Lil Wayne, and he did The Apprentice. He wasn't, he ain't against black folks. He ain't against, white folks. He's for people if you got money. If you rich, whether you for Trump, is if you got some money. Trust me. And you got money. That's all he care about. I don't even know why these white folks getting on TV talking about my president. Your president don't give two fuck rats about you. He don't. The only reason why he was at these damn rallies with these in Ohio and some of these industrial plants and stuff was because those are the people that work for the people that he supports, that owns these factories and industrial factories and big companies and lobbyists. That's who he care about. Oh, I'm such and such CEO of blah 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 company in XYZ. I'll give you on your campaign and support your campaign and support your agenda as long as you support me. But the workers who works for the CEO, president, these board of directors, and everybody else, they are the poor people who are in the lower level. They're in the lower level. They're the workers. Then you got the people on the top. That's what they supporting. It ain't supporting you. Your job could be replaced like that with a machine. It don't have to go to China. It don't have to go to Mexico. It don't have to go to Canada or anywhere else. They don't ship jobs like they used to. They could sit there and automate. You don't have to pay a computer benefits. You don't have to pay a computer wages. You don't have to pay a computer overtime, and you don't have to pay a computer PTO or health benefits or nothing. You just hire one person to fix a machine or a software developer to program the machine and welders to physically put something together. Once you put a plant, like for instance, Amazon building all over the place, right? You hire people to work there to put up the facility, welders and people to do the robots they got in that Amazon. And then they got people who walk around with the pad and they program the program. That's what I want to do. That's why my video initially started out with new opportunities and gig work that I found, as well as the training. USA Generation, because they're training people. And like I said, Amazon and all these companies are training people what's going to be a whole new generation change of in the next 9 years. Because in 2030, that's the goal. They need to find millions of people in these key positions to learn, whether it be welding, cybersecurity, because you're always going to need cybersecurity analysts, programmers, software developers. You're always going to need people in those because you're training people for these new jobs, well, better yet, not even job, careers that's needed for the new world order of other industries. It is going to happen. I'm not going to go back and forth. I ain't going to go back and forth. I'm not going to go back and forth and argue over no dang shot. It is what it is. It is what it is. If they wanted to get rid of this and you don't take no shot, they should have gave everybody $20,000, $25,000, whatever that $1 trillion they've been passing out for these last 3 stimulus. They should have added that together and say, okay, everybody in the United States, and it ain't gonna base on if you got child tax credit. No, Actually, yes, I did drink water. I didn't drink enough today. I'm gonna drink some more before I go to bed. So, me personally, see, you threw my train of thought, asking me about did I drink water. What was that thing saying? Oh, they could have gave out everybody like, and I'm just giving an example because the economists and people else could have broke that money down. They could have gave everybody in the United States, regardless of family, say, okay, everybody get $25,000. Now that may not be a lot. I'm not saying that's a lot of money, but if they would give everybody $25,000 a piece and you had to stay home and well, I appreciate D Nuts that you still care. But and I think that if they had gave everybody some type of stipend or whatever you want to call it, I don't even know what to call it. But I read that somewhere. They were doing that in California. 50 people. No, it was like 200 people was getting $25,000 up in California for something they were doing some experiment on. And I think if they gave everybody that kind of money per year, and you had to stay home for a year, and maybe send some, maybe go out one time just to get enough groceries, food, whatever. And if they had so-called essential workers to do, for those who can't leave the house but they don't have no car, they could have had essential workers do delivery food, deliver the groceries and delivering the groceries for those who need it, for those who weren't capable of getting it. But they still could have kept essential things open. Essential is food, like grocery stores. I would say fast food, but maybe fast food places, maybe have them opened up. Fast food restaurants, grocery stores, and hospitals. Everything else, they had to open up. Because let's think about it. A lot of these grocery stores, like Kroger's and Publix now, they have shoppers and they do the grocery shopping. And then when someone comes with the car, they drive to the car and then they load their groceries and they call the number. I'm here. I'm going to get my groceries. And then they come out, you pop the trunk, they put the groceries, and you go about your business. No contact, no nothing. No contact, no nothing. That was genius. And I knew that was going to happen. I told people that 5 years ago. I said, what? Where you live at, D Nuts? Because I ain't heard that Kroger closing at 9 o'clock. They must have started that today. Because I went to Kroger last night, did my survey assignments. No, because Kroger was closing at midnight here in Georgia. But if the food shortages keeps happening and they need to stock it because they ain't got enough people to stock those groceries, they may close. They may start closing early in the coming weeks. They may change their hours from midnight to 11 or maybe 10. I don't know. I don't see them closing at no. What? Well, when I go to Kroger's tomorrow, I need to redo one of my assignments. They claim, but I looked at it. I didn't take a picture or something, so I need to go back to the Kroger tomorrow. Well, let me tell you, they may not have a shutdown, official shutdown, but these big companies and retail stores, they're gonna start closing early because if they don't find enough workers, they're gonna force to be closed earlier because of lack of people working and lack of merchandise, especially stores and supermarkets and stuff. If they start running out of food or shortages because but they don't have enough drivers to drive the trucks to go to these stores, they're gonna start closing early because of that. If you don't have any workers, you don't have any truck drivers to deliver the goods, and yeah, they're gonna start closing early. So you don't have to. People don't have to be like, I sure hope they don't close early. No, I hope there's no government shutdown. It's gonna automatically gonna happen because one, the shortages of drivers and the shortages of the chain supply. That's gonna force it to shut down. You ain't gonna have no the federal government, the state government do not have to say we're gonna make a mandatory shutdown. A shutdown's gonna happen because they ain't got enough workers working at these places, all these restaurants, all these fast food places talking about now hiring, because people, because number one, they pay too low. I went to McDonald's, $10 an hour. Who gonna do that? Who gonna work $10? What can you do with $10 an hour? That's better. Money is better than no money. But to make $10 an hour at a McDonald's when you had lines wrapped around the corner, wrapped around the block, and people who making such low wage, it really should be more, people with those type of jobs and that type of pay should be more like teenagers, people like 16, 17, even 18. They're going to change their hours, because if you need to have more of a workforce, and those type of jobs are for teenagers. Some of these kids are lazy. Some of them are lazy. They want, every time I try to go to the store and I hear these kids, I want this, I want that. And I ain't talking about 4 or 5 year old people, 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old, 7. But it gets to a point where if you have teenagers, 16, 7, whatever the legal age, minimum age to work, they need to be working at some of these stores. They need to get up their lazy ass, stop being in front of the damn TV, playing video games and all that kind of stuff. They need to be working 4 or 5 hours, maybe on the weekend. Work about 4 hours, work in Kroger's, Publix. There's a lot of I see a lot of younger people working when I go to the Publix, even the one up the street from my house. I could tell they in high school because I hear this over that. They were talking about so and so, Miss so and so said about cheating. They took a test or something, and I could tell they were in high school, and it's good. It's good. I want to see more younger people, teenage, high school working. You ain't got to work 7, 10 hours a day, but you can work like 4 to 9, or 4 to 10. Because I know when I used to live in New York, you had to have a work permit, and you couldn't work past 10 o'clock at night during the school day, like the school week. You couldn't work a certain number of hours past a certain hour during the school. But when school was like vacation or not in session, you could work. But they should have these jobs that pays what they pay for teenagers, not grown adults. Now, sometimes grown adults could work, like elderly, older people. They may work at Chick-fil-A, because once these kids have to go to school at 10 o'clock, 9, 10 o'clock, then the people who are, elderly, senior citizens, they could be working during the midtime until most of these kids get out of school, and then because that's why Chick-fil-A has a young staff of people. Chick-fil-A have a staff that's run by like teenagers, and the majority of people, teenagers, work. So it's not about people want to be lazy, they want to sit at home and collect unemployment. For one thing, if those jobs were set for teenagers, you're not eligible to get unemployment The stereotype about, oh, the ones who's getting unemployment, they don't want to work. Those jobs were meant for teenage or maybe someone elderly. They get Social Security, they get their pension, they get a retirement, and they may want to work at a fast food place for a few hours during the week to get out the house or whatever. And I'm starting to see a lot of elderly people working at the Walmart and stuff. Remember when people looked at Walmart, they were the greeters, and all they had to do was stand in front of the Walmart and they would greet them when they come in the store. Now, shoot, those people, they the ones cleaning the carts and making sure they hand out masks. You know, all elderly people who work, they're not working because they need the money or because they ain't getting no money. Now, some of them may be, struggle, they need to do work. But a lot of them, if you get into Social Security and you worked years and you may collect a pension or your retirement plan, some of them working because who wants to sit at home all day? You know? Exactly. Let some of these kids work so they can buy their own stuff, buy their own little clothes and buy their own school supplies and work, save money in their little savings account, do something. All these restaurants and all these places and stuff, you ain't no business saying, oh, we need help. No. Now, some of these kids need to get punched in the mouth because some of them, I ain't saying kids, like I would hit a child in the mouth, but because some of them be like in their 20s and stuff, be acting all foolish at the McDonald's, acting all rude and stuff. But they mostly in their 20s, mid 20s, be acting up. Most teenagers stuff, they don't show no disrespect. At least they don't do that with me. They were like, yes, ma'am, and be quite pleasant, you know. It's these other 20-year-old millennial, not they're not even millennials. It's those other, those are the ones to be, 25, 24, 26, flipping it with the mouth. Most teenagers and stuff, they don't really be acting all crazy. They don't be acting all disrespectful, at least not to me. So, but ain't nothing wrong with working at McDonald's as a child, as a teenager. My sister, her first job was at McDonald's. My first job, well, really my second job was KFC. My first job was an internship at the Bank of America when I was in high school. But other than that, working at a fast food place or restaurant, it wasn't that bad as a child, as a teenager. And then some of these places, they paying $12. Some of them paying $500 bonus. You know, I tell you one thing, it ain't bad being a teenager working. Get the relief out of your parents' pocket. Let your parents' pocket breathe. Let their wallet breathe. Let them keep, contribute something to the household. With the price of food going up, it ain't make no damn sense. You have some grown ass teenagers sitting at the house all summer long, ordering Uber Eats and not doing nothing. You can walk to the nearest McDonald's. You can walk to the nearest fast food place in your neighborhood. I don't care where you live. You can walk. Ain't nothing wrong. Take your bike. Just take your bike and go to the McDonald's up the street. Help out. Help your parents out. Don't be eating them out of house at home. Sitting around the house all fucking day, eating up like eating up like ain't no tomorrow. Then they want to buy, we ain't got no groceries. Get your fat asses and stop being lazy. You know? Get out of your parents' pocket. Get out their pocket. I know if I had children, if I had kids, trust and believe, I would have done what my father done. Me and my father gave me and my sisters, we would get allowance every week, Sundays. We would go ahead, wake them up. I need my allowance. And then go in the pocket and be like, okay, I got it. And it'll be like $60 or something. But when the minute we was like, I want to get a job, get a little work permit, and we started working somewhere, the allowance stopped. I'm like, No, well, the allowance stopped, but it when it came to like buying our own little things, we bought our own school supplies and whatever clothes we wanted to buy. It wasn't Bloomingdale's and Macy's when my father actually would take us school shopping for clothes. We weren't going to Bloomingdale's and Macy's, but we were going to the Fordham Road VIP, one of those little, those little little, cheaper stores. But when we got to a certain age and we was working, we worked. And I ain't gonna say we worked all during the school year or nothing like that, but I do remember we did work. Um, I don't. Let me see. I know it was during the summers for sure, but I don't think it was during the school term. But we did work. Put it that way. And that's when the allowance stopped because they say, "Oh, you working now?" So the little allowance thing stopped. But other than that, it ain't gonna hurt. It ain't gonna hurt for children and teenagers. I didn't say children, teenagers at a certain age legally to work and make their own little money. There's some kids now. They entrepreneurs. There's some kids. They millions of dollars businesses. They start these little businesses and stuff. Selling soap and selling all kind of stuff. I love reading stories like of entrepreneurship within children. But some of these kids, mm-mm, they want a car. They get to an age when they 18, 19, and they able to get a little driver's license and stuff. They don't, they want a car. And then I don't get it. I just don't get it. They want a dog. I want a puppy, but they don't want to take care of they don't want to take care of the puppy. They want a cute little puppy to be tens of thousands of dollars and all that crazy stuff. And some of these parents, y'all need to get a beating because some of them be giving their stuff to kids and don't even let them work for it. They ain't even earned it. Oh, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I just can't. I just can't stand it. These little spoiled ass kids. I was like, you old enough to be working. You ain't got to work a lot of hours, 15, 20 hours a week. You know, develop some sort of work ethic. Some of these places even offer scholarships. Chick-fil-A, you work at Chick-fil-A as a teenager, and when you graduate from high school, they even have scholarships. They got, and that's, I'm talking about thousands of dollars of money they given. Thousands. People could work at Amazon. You could be 18, work at Amazon. After a year, they pay 95% of your tuition for you to go to school. And then come next year, they pay for bachelor's degrees after 3 months of employment. So I'm like, I know this is not my topic. I knew my topic originally was supposed to be other alternatives and gigs, but y'all can play back the beginning. So let me summarize because I'm about to. Exactly. They sit around the game all day. Ain't doing nothing. And unless you playing that game and you making some money, because there are some gamers, they do make money being gamers. Yeah, on the phone. A phone that they didn't even pay for. A phone that their parents gave, and then they got the nerve to want the latest and the greatest. They want the brand new iPhone 13 and all. I mean, I want the new flip phone with the phone, and parents just walking up in the store. I used to work at Sprint and stuff. They be walking in the store. Talk about they didn't want that. They want this. I'm like, what? Mm-mm. You mean to tell me if they have a phone bill, let's say it's if you have a family plan, it's like 4 lines for $100. You telling me that you a child, they could work a little part-time job. Let them pay for their own phone bill. All right, your phone bill, $25. $30. Stop complaining about being broke as a parent. I ain't got no money. I'm broke and you got a child old enough to work where they can at least pay a phone bill. Really? They can't pay for their own cell phone bill? Their own cell phone bill. Mm-mm. Nope. I'm sorry. Exactly. And we used to play in the dirt. We used to make mud pies and stuff. When I lived in South Carolina, me and my cousins and my sisters, we would be playing in the dirt, making mud pies and making house, house out of tobacco sticks. And we would have our own kind of a little fort. We took those tobacco sticks, made them in a house. I had a small house before a small house was invented, and it was like, actually, you had like, you could sleep in it, had a little sleeping area and stuff. And we have our little snacks that we good for the store because we worked on the farm. When me and my sister and my cousins, we go to South Carolina, help out my grandparents, and we went to the tobacco field, handing out tobacco. And our grandfather would give us, whatever money he gave us at the time. And by the end of the summer, all that money we kept in a jar, we used to keep it in a jar, hid it. And we didn't spend it because you didn't live near no dang town. You had to go into town to go to the store. There was no Walmart at the time. So we went to the little store after church, bought our little honey bun in a soda. That was a honey bun and a drink. And that was it. And that was a treat. And we worked with my grandfather. It would be like 5:30 in the morning. We wake up. Because it was more their bond. I had my other relatives and stuff. And go in the back of the truck. And we would, because I didn't want to stay in the house. That hot, stay in the house, clean all day. I would say, no, I'd rather go in the field. We'd jump in the truck 5 o'clock in the morning, be ready to go. And that was because it was the bond with my grandfather. That little bond. Me and my cousins and you know, with my grandfather, we'd be all jumping in the truck. We'd be all ready to go. And in that hot sun in South Carolina, handing out tobacco, or picking cucumbers or something. We was helping our grandparents out. They didn't have to hire people. I mean, people ain't had no Mexicans and stuff. We hiring them to work the fields. They had their families. We did that. Family members went in the field, worked the field, helped harvest. Went to the market, and my grandfather, sold fruits, vegetables, tobacco, whatever, to the market. So during the summer, we worked during the summertime. We always played all the time and play, and that's it. We also, the way my parents and them, the way my mother and my aunts and stuff tell it, they make it sound like, oh, we worked the field and we had to did this. I was like, shoot, we did it. They thought we had it good. I was like, if this what y'all did, shoot, it was fun to me. It was hot. Don't get me wrong. That's South Carolina hot. Beaming on my little light skin stuff. It had sunburn and stuff. And we had those little bologna sandwiches with the, I don't know what it is with my grandfather with that lemonade. It was the old country time lemonade, that bitter lemonade, but that's what he bought. And we drink it and eat our little bologna sandwiches and stuff. That was the best fun. That was the most fun that I think I had in my childhood was going up in South Carolina and going there with my grandparents, playing with my cousins, going to the field. And then at the end of the summer, it was time to go back home, back to New York, crying in the back seat of the car because it was time to go back home. And I didn't want to go back home. But let me tell you, when we graduated high school, whether it be elementary school, whatever ceremonies, my grandparents came right up to New York. They attended graduations. They were right up in there. They were right there. Let me tell you. And y'all want to know where I got my fiery spirit from? Ooh, my grandfather, Benjamin Nelson. And Esther Lee Nelson. They used to say that West Indian, because, technically my heritage is like West Indian from Barbados. At least that's what we trace it back to. But we said West Indian. So that English West Indian blood, that fiery, there was no being, there was no being lazy and stuff. My grandfather was alive today. He would roll in his grave with some of the stuff my stupid cousins and stuff be doing. And trust me, my grandfather, he was a Republican. He did not like Jimmy Carter. He was like that man from the peanut. But I don't know. I'm curious. Would my grandfather have voted for Trump? I don't know. But I know he was a Republican. I could surely tell you that. And I know he would have been proud of President Obama being the first black president. The first thing we said when President Obama got elected was we thought about my grandfather. Oh, what would he? And I thought about my grandfather, my father. I said, oh my God, what would they have thought? That they missed it. But that was always been. So when I have a passion about something, I don't care how it came out or how it made people may take it. All I know is this. I'm not going to put myself out there and I just know I'm not going to be this doom and gloom and oh my God, the economy. Oh my God, this. I don't know. It's so many different people making YouTube videos talking silliness, but at the same time, some of these white folks I see making these videos. We need to do this. Oh my God, this economy is fake. Everybody keeps saying about fake. Fake economy, fake Wall Street, fake whatever. I'm like, people always got something to say. They're talking about, Wall Street is up. People making that's fake. We need to invest in gold and silver. We need to, this economy, it's a fake economy. There's no way these numbers are true. I was like, you know what? If you can't join along, I didn't say get along gang, be the get along gang, get along with things. You could question things, but you got to think. You got to think. This ain't new. Everything all this stuff that's come out and stuff, it ain't new. I'm telling you. They've been new. They've been new. They just dropped the ball. That's the problem. And you had Trump in office at the time when all this happened. It's on his hands. Ain't got nothing to do with no Biden. And everything going on in Afghanistan, ending the war, that took courage to end it. 10 years. Was it 10 years? 20 years. 20 years. They dragged this thing on. Then they're talking about when they withdrew. Oh my God. Oh my God. If he kept it going, they would have said, you're wasting money. But if you stop it, we shouldn't have stopped it. You ain't gonna have nobody's gonna be satisfied, regardless what this issue is. You end the war, people have been complaining. If you keep going on, we ain't got no money. Come on, make up your freaking mind. When Trump said they wanted to end this war and withdrew the troops and withdrew the remaining troops and ended it, and it so happened that he didn't go beyond his president to the next second term, he would have ended it. If Trump was a second president, if he was in his second term, he would have ended it. What he got to lose? What did Trump have to lose? Let's think about it. And that's how I looked at it. He gone on to the second term. The worst thing could have happened was we would have to endure another 4 years. And after that, you ain't had to hear nothing about him no more. And then those 4 years, we could have at least changed the trajectory of turning the House blue or Democrat or voting these old dinosaurs out. Or 2, you would have kept people who was in there, but they wouldn't have voted for his agenda. Because they was like, what we got to lose? What he going to say? He can only be here for 4 years. He would have been a hung president. He would have been a hung president. And then this virus thing, They probably still would have gave that second stimulus that they did because, but I really believe they would have given more, and then the war would have ended, like he said, and they would have closed it longer. I really believe that. He would have said, "No, I don't believe in it. Trust me." That man would have flip flopped like a fish in a hot boiling water. He would have flip flopped that case. He would have told people, "Oh, we're gonna wear masks and we're gonna shut down," and nobody would have said a shit. They wouldn't have said nothing. They would have said nothing. They wouldn't have said a thing. And I think that this thing would have ended. They would have ended it. This wouldn't have gone this far. It wouldn't. And I think the ones who didn't believe Biden and they still on that Trump train and they said, I ain't wearing, I ain't taking the vaccine, I ain't doing this. That's why this thing is keep on going. Because they still believe he got stolen the election. I don't give a damn whether whether it was stolen or whatever. All I know is this. He would have had the second term. They would have put a muscle on everything he done, everything he would have think he tried to pass. He would have been signing everything as an executive order. Everything he want to do, it would have been an executive order. It wouldn't have gone through Congress. He would have had to go through an executive order to get anything passed if he was still there, if he was still here. You know? And whether it had been worse or whatever the situation, we don't know. I just know one thing. They just could have done one simple thing. They could have done one simple thing. Wear a damn mask on your face. Shut down for 6 more months. For a year. And then gave everybody $25,000 and call it a day. 30,000. Whatever that 2.3, 2.1 trillion plus the other trillion. Divide that up by the number of people based on all taxpayers and not household, and gave everybody one flat thing. Well, here you go. The average salary that people make, $30,000. Yeah. If they gave $30,000, that would have took care of it. And if you spend all your money and blow it, that's you. That's on you. But if you had $30,000 and they say, okay, everybody's sitting at home, you ain't working, okay, here you go. 30,000, 30,000. Now, if you was working from home, then that's a bonus. But that would have been a cushion. That would have been a cushion for people. And I don't think people would have had this big anxiety about it. I think if people was giving that kind of money, that's on you. If you blew it, that's you. If you spent it all on foolishness, that's on you. If you went to go to Walmart, because people gonna do that. There'd be millions of people who could be running to the Walmart buying big screen TVs. The economy would have been good. Because you give everybody $30,000, a lot of people would have gone out and spent it. They would have spending money. They would have gone to Miami. They would have been going to the Walmart, buying TVs. They would have been doing all kind of silliness with that money. That money would have been recycled back in the economy. And all this stuff we talking about, all these things that's going on, it would have been all right. It would have been all right. But because people didn't get they didn't get their wishes. Trump election got it stolen. All the insurrection and stuff that wouldn't have not happened. Me as a Democrat and people who voted for Biden, if he didn't win, I would have been like, what? I would have been a little bit disappointed, but I would have moved on. I said, okay, whatever. It wouldn't have been no big deal to me if Trump had won. It wouldn't have. It would not have been a big deal. I would have been disappointed for a couple of days, and then I would have been like, okay, now it's time to get these senators and Congress to work. But they wouldn't have passed a lot of his stuff. Trust me. Those Republicans, they thought they would have been for Trump. They would have been like, and especially if this virus thing was the same way it was and he was in it, with people who believed in Trump, if he said take the virus, would they not have taken the virus or would they have taken it? Because I do believe Trump took that virus. People don't believe that. They said, I don't believe he took the virus. Yes, he did. He took some other stuff, but he also got that virus. Vaccine, rather. He got that vaccine. How you going to be 80? How you going to be 70, 80, almost 80 years old? And he ain't in the best of health. You gonna tell me he got the COVID and he took it? Man, please. Y'all sit there and believe that. That man took that virus. No, vaccine. But anyway, I've been on here for 2 hours and I said I was gonna be on here for only an hour. And I keep going over. So I'm going to bed and I will be on StreamYard tomorrow because I'm gonna put the link in here for those who want to come on and to be my guest. You don't have to show your face, but I'm going to start changing up my channel a little bit. So, Vicky, you have a good night. Sally, have a good night. Thank you for being my moderator. D Nuts, good night. Colas 85. I don't know if you're a troll because you're not responding to my message, and I know you read it. So I don't know. But anyway, I'll go on StreamYard tomorrow, and then I'll share you some of the screens. But VHO, let me go ahead and summarize before I end. VHO.com is another delivery service. I signed up for it today, so I'm waiting for my background check. Whether or not I do it, I don't know. I'm just curious. But USA Generation for the free training is another one. Anybody looking into that? Go there, usageneration.com. Everything is free. So sign up, see what you're interested in doing. If you're interested, if you're not, pass it on to other younger people or people who are transitioning to a brand new career. But it is legit, and they are looking to transform the workforce and train millions and millions of people of these millions and millions of jobs that is in high demand by the year 2030. So that's where, oops, I spelled generation wrong. So look into that, but I will be starting that program in a couple of weeks. And I'll be going back to work at Amazon come Saturday. So the good thing is that I work the third day, which is the end of the week, work that night, and then I won't be going back to work until the following Thursday. So anyway, y'all have a good night. Talk to y'all tomorrow. And if y'all want to come on my live stream tomorrow with the StreamYard, please do so. You don't have to show your face. You can actually show your avatar, whatever it is. But I would like someone to come on and jump on to talk, because it's only so much that I could say. In 2 hours, 3 hours of talking, it gets a little bit exhausting. All right. If you like the video, hit a thumbs up. I see I got 6 thumbs. 4 of y'all been on here so far. And if you have any other questions, just let me know. Talk to y'all later. Bye.